psychological journey that they don't even know they're on. Your whole job is to come in, make connection with them, warm up with them, so you bring down the walls, then you ask these questions that are very disturbing and uncomfortable for them, so you're ripping off band-aids to a wound, and then you're getting even deeper in the questions, so you're like stirring around the wound, really making them feel awful, and then they're at the end of this journey, they're itching for some sort of solution, and you let them know, not only am I going to, I'm not going to put a band-aid back on your solution, back on this wound, I'm going to stitch it up permanently so it can heal properly, and you'll be whole again. And so now you get to come and be the hero, the doctor that saved their life with that plan and that recommendations. That's the whole purpose of this journey, and that's why we ask the questions in the order we ask them. That's why there's the feeling questions on there. That's why they're set up the way they are.
Now, but what I should have asked it a different way. All this data goes into a particular place on WFG, and then it starts helping to come up with recommendations?
No, you come up with recommendations. It comes up with a blueprint of your holes and your plan, and you've got to fill them. It's not a smart thing that it knows, hey, you should fill this problem with this.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. But why is it not coming up? There we go. Right here under tools and then financial needs analysis is where you enter all that. And when you're going through this, you'll notice that these are just going through the budget categories, just the actual form. It's just data entry from your form to here. I always recommend you take a paper form first though, because there's nowhere for you to take notes on the electronic one, and you really need to know the psychological pieces of this and the reasons why people have done what they've done or the plans that they have, so that you understand why they bought what they bought. Because when it's your time to fix it, you need to be able to sell them in their own language and in the way that they've already bought before. So the electronic form is just data entry. There's nowhere for you to put any kind of notes on anything.
Do you send them anything prior to?
I do. I send them an email. So after my first appointment, I go in, I do the presentation, and I get permission for the FNA to schedule that appointment. I go home that night and I send them an email through Campaign Manager. It says, great to meet you. So glad that you've got the ball started. Let's keep the ball rolling forward. And then in there it says, here's what the things that you're going to need for our next appointment. There's a list of about 15 or 20 things there. Pay stubs, tax returns, insurance documents, blah, 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 blah. A list of all that. And I send that to them. So remember, that's my second touch, warm fuzzy. They've got this email. Now, when I send that to them, I do it through Campaign Manager because it has my picture, my contact information to remind them. They know it's all official, that whole thing has the logo on it. In addition to that, I can see when they open the email and how much time they spent reading the email.
Okay. Do you send them anything prior to that first meeting for them to be a little prepared for? No.
Because the first meeting is a presentation. They have no idea what they're about to say.
Yeah.
So the email for the second meeting is the great to meet you one. Let's keep the ball rolling. And then after this meeting, Maggie goes through my Campaign Manager and sends out another email that says, so good for us to sit down with you. I know the information we went through was overwhelming. No worries. I took notes. Here's your homework items. And she emails them a reminder of what their homework items are, even though they already wrote them down. Because it's another filter for me. If they are, see, I don't want to spend my time, I don't want to waste my time with people who aren't going to take action. So if I send them stuff to do, everybody I ever sit down with, even if they have everything I need, gets some sort of homework item. Everybody. Because that's a filter for me for who I want to spend time taking my next steps. When you're early in your career, you'll sit down with anybody and you'll run as many appointments and go back and see that person 37 times because you have nothing else to do.
Did you create that, keep the ball rolling? Because I remember seeing that one that you sent for Kenny, but when Daniel and I went in to find something like it,
it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Okay.
Yeah, so you just have to copy and paste mine.
Okay.
So on my, when you get to where I am, I don't have time to run around with people who are not going to take action. So I have filters built into my process to let me know who's really serious about getting their financial future in order and taking action. And if they're not, I don't waste my time.
Yeah.
That's just all it boils down to. Good job, Pumpkin. And then we have follow-up. And the follow-up is when you're coming back to present your financial needs analysis, this pretty report that comes out. It's 21 pages long, and it shows exactly where they are and where they're going to land, and then there's a place on the back that says next steps or action steps, and that's where you put your recommendations in each one of those 6 categories of what you recommend they should do next. Make sense? And then so if you do it in just that order and you do all of those steps and don't skip anything, there is no close. It's very simple. Makes sense? I like you, I like the company, where do I sign? It's within my budget. The numbers right here say so. Where do I sign? It's just that simple. All right. That's all I got on FNA. Any other questions on that? No. Okay, we're good then.